I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master, with the torchlight of knowledge, he has removed the cataracts on my eyes to give me the vision to be able to see the spiritual world. Therefore, I offer my respects unto my spiritual masters, and to all my gobelas. Nage bombo mari wa mazala trombari matloma mchira mulungu ni chiri kulumila tlanta hani basani waru bazikapela kamarao. Chibirolo kile velo mtawaro kinavile. Kimudigela. Nage tani sapula, diri pororo, tororo, kororo, pororo. This treatise called Life, given by the Supreme Lord, he who is Karuna Sindhu, or the ocean of mercy, friend of the poor, Lord and Master of devotees, Lord and Master of those who are distressed. I come near you, I bow down at your Lord's feet with all great respect, that may this night continue as it is through your chanted values, that whoever encounters your message, they get to heed this message and use it to advance spiritually. I beg and pray from the deepest sectors of my heart that you who knows everything that's in my heart, Bidunati Suritsatam, Srinvata Swakata Krishna Punna Savanakita, read the unders to he who knows the knots in my heart. I pray and beg that which is troubling my heart and my mind may be dispersed by the words that come from your mouth. It is with great respect that at this particular moment that I would actually put my energy towards pride, envy, all my difficulties at your Lotus feet, all my distress at your Lotus feet. Allow me to be a servant all the time for your words, servants for your meditations, and a servant for your missions. I am simply a servant that you send in this world to gather knowledge of love and to spread the knowledge of love. Hence you have designated me to be Prem Vikas, thus he who spreads the message of love. It is with great attention that at this particular point in time that I wish for your light to shine upon me and to shine upon those who shall hear this message and spread this message as quickly, as swiftly as possible, that the slowness of this age, that men have slow minds, men have short memories, men cannot even get involved in spiritual activities. They probably assume some of the things they're doing are spiritual, whereas they may not be. Some are very lazy. Some are very quick. Some are inspired. Some advanced. Some realized that the physical body is a source of problems. But so many people have not realized that the physical body is but just a disturbance. So therefore they live their life decorating this body, but this body is already dead. But men and women will spend tons and tons of time decorating this body and worrying about how it looks. Okay, it may look nice. You may make it look nice, but don't make it into your whole life. Because this body is perishable. Just like if you buy a car, it looks nice in the beginning. You clean it, and as you clean it, you adore it, and you start to think that you are the car. So hemotau tutsi, then you say untutsi, but mutututsi goloi, atulawe. But there is an affection for the car. But this car, just like this physical body, it can only last for so long. So it has duration, what we call time. Janmamri tu biari jara. Time means janma, which is birth. Something that takes birth, mritu, it will die. just like the word karma means, activities which will end in hell, basically. So Janmamri tu Byari Jara, this physical body, you get this body. And when you get this body, you start thinking, I have to enjoy this body. So that's the energy you get when you're young. That's the first biggest mistake that everybody gets to do when they come on earth, is to make the assumption that I came here to have fun. And yes, this fun is allowed in the beginning, especially when you, between 0 and 5, your parents allow this fun to take place where you dancing up and down, making giggles, and they call you bundle of joy. Then at the age of 6, they put you to school to start the difficulties and show you how difficult it is. But even then, it's plays at the school. So many people, when they go to school, they still plays. This will last until 18 years old. And unfortunately nowadays, for many, school is just a place where they park themselves and make friends who continue into the darkness of this world and increases your attachment to the physical body. But it's cool anyway. It's supposed to help you become educated enough to learn certain things related to the physical body, like having to work, for example. Once that is finished, one has to go to work. They go to college, then they go to work. When you go to work, you start to realize it is even more difficult. And that's why nowadays a lot of people, they have to go see psychologists because they cannot cope with this world. And why many cannot cope with this world is because from the very beginning, from the onset of life, you have been taught that this life is about enjoyment. Parties, weddings, even funerals nowadays have become a place of enjoyment. Even church have become a place of enjoyment. But contrary to popular belief, this world is never meant for enjoyment. And even worse, the human form is not meant simply for enjoyment. Yes, you can taste some form of enjoyment, but the human form is not meant for enjoyment. The human form has high levels of intelligence it can use for asking proper questions. And that's stage number 2. When you overcome this desire for enjoyment, stage number 2 is, where does everything come from? When you ask these questions, there's probably going to be an answer, or there's probably going to be no answer, or there's probably going to be doubts about the answers you have. And then eventually you give up in this question, because this world is also designed to make you forget. Sarvasya chaham rindi sanivisto matag smriti jnana apohanam cha. Apohanam means to forget. One will forget. As long as you are in the enjoying spirit, one will forget the most important thing about this world is death is just around the corner. At any minute, life can be taken away. At any minute. That's why everyone says, how old are you? Not that how young are you? How old are you? I'm 12 years old. Old means death. Janmamri tu Byari Jara. Jara means old. At any time you can leave this planet. But are you ready for what goes on in the next life? But there's a problem, because question number 2 is, where does everything come from? It's not what happens after. But for many, they will think there's nothing after this life. Just like Drake had a logo called YOLO, Y-O-L-O. You only live once. And Tupac even said this once. He said, since I only got one life to live, God forgive me for my sins. Let me break it. I will never sin again. Say, no, you only live once, they say. So then Charvak Muni says, because you only live once, then Rainim Kata, that no, you should get money, work for it, steal the money, beg for the money, do whatever it takes to get the money so you can live a soft life. That's what Charvak Muni says, because he says there's nothing that happens after this life. So get G, he says. You get a soft life. Because there's nothing that happens after this life. When you quit this physical body, nothing happens after this life. So that's question number 3. Is that what happens after this life? So you'll have answers. There's nothing after this life. And many scientists, they think like that. Because most of them, they believe that we came from the Big Bang. And it's still they believe even then. Because how do you answer questions like, if there is a cell that began all these things, how did the cell know to make a placenta? How did the cell know that the baby should be inside the womb and it must be covered with a certain amount of water, and then it shouldn't breathe in there, and then the ligaments should be in the body, not the bones, and then those ligaments assist when the baby comes out of the womb. When a baby comes out of the womb, the baby don't have stricture, doesn't have these bones, so then coming out becomes easy. If the baby had grown bones, it would be very difficult. So basically, a bit softer. So this doesn't answer the question, what happens after life? Because the beginning of this life is from the Big Bang, so therefore there's nothing before that. But everything happens after the Big Bang. So for them, they concluded nothing happens after this life. And then there are other people who say there is nothing except us. And because there's nothing except us, the most important thing is just to work, make money, eat, have sex, sleep, do the same thing every single day. So therefore they will not inquire. And the reason why they do not inquire is because people of this age, they are very unfortunate. What is unfortunate? Unfortune or misfortune is to not have information about what happens after you die from a relevant source. What is a relevant source? Tapasya. A relevant source is people who actually take the pain to study the universe through the physical body. Just like the ocean. The ocean, it's a whole lot of water. But for you to test the ocean, you just take a bucket of water, put it in a science lab and test what kind of what constitutes the ocean, what are the minerals that are found in the ocean. You don't take the whole ocean, you take a small bucket and make a test out of it to see what's up. So similarly, if you want to study the universe, because the entire universe, the whole universe, it's inside of this body. There's mandalas inside of this body, or maps that actually can teach you what is going on in the entire universe. But the man is very unfortunate because they don't have somebody to sit down with every single day. Nasta Prayasvabadrisu Nitta. Nittam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nitta. Like people who go to church or people who sometimes listen to TikToks. Sometimes. These people, they get inspired whenever they hear some message. Oh, I just heard something amazing about the soul. I just heard something amazing about energy, about spirit. It was so inspiring. That's all right. But that is inspirational. It will not give you realizations. Inspiration means it will last for a couple of days or for a couple of hours, for a couple of seconds. Once it is finished, then you go back. You go back to exactly what you are doing every single day, because now you're going to forget. Apohonam again means to forget. A part of what God does is give you the ability to forget. You get inspired from 1 second. You get an inspiration on Sunday, or you get an inspiration when you see a TikTok video or you see a YouTube video. You get inspired, but you have a short-term memory, and the school hasn't taught many people actually how to memorize, and that's why a lot of people will struggle with mathematics or even accounting, because memory is less. But memory requires practice. So you get inspired because you attend a religious festival that it kind of jilts you a little bit. Oh, it's going on. But it doesn't get rid of the problems associated with why a lot of people don't understand spiritual knowledge. And the basic thing is called anartha, unwanted desires and unfulfilled desires, or unwanted circumstances. Those create a situation where you're only inspired, but you're unable to move from one level to another. And the reason is that these anarthas are grown because you have desires inside based on the pictures that you have accumulated for so many years. For so many years, or for so many lifetimes, you have accumulated so many memories. Now these memories, when they come, they make you do things. It's as if you are pushed by something to go and enjoy something. Pushed. It's because of these memories. That's why when you see a particular person, whether it's a man or a woman, depending on what your sex is, when you see that particular person, you may be attracted. You may be attracted to that person because the memory says, I like a person who looks like this. I like a person who speaks like this. So that is there. It's engraved inside. So because it's engraved inside. Because it is engraved inside, every time you see somebody who is resonance to what you really like, that particular person will be someone that you pursue or you'll be attracted to. Hence, you can't be attracted to anyone and everyone. There's a specific attraction that you build through the years. For example, whatever you watch the most, that thing becomes imprinted in the system and you become acquainted with it. So if you say, I like dark, tall, and handsome, etc., because you keep hearing it over and over again, it becomes your reality. All of a sudden, you see somebody who's dark, who's tall, you become, immediately. Because why? The memory remembers this. I like this. But you don't even know why you like it, by the way. So this is called anartha. These are the things that makes it difficult to even begin spiritual knowledge. So what happens is you go to church, somebody says something, it touches your heart, and then you want to get involved with that thing right now because you're inspired, but you are not realized. Because every day you have to shatter some mentality. Shatter means you have to destroy. There's always pillars upon pillar. Just like when you have an onion. When you remove one portion of an onion, there's something that looks almost the same as the previous one, but it's a little bit smaller. So you have to continuously peel off. There's these mental impressions inside of you that you have to peel off, but you can't do it from inspiration. That is why I always say to my friends, I say once or twice, or once with your spiritual whatever, or with you. Continue with the things that you were doing then, because you're supposed to grow upper and upper to keep on peeling. Our faith, it keeps on going until you reach a stage when you are clear. You clear. Until you are clear, you are supremely clear actually what is going on in the next life. And this thing can be achieved when you meet people who are busy trying to understand this, which is the second part of this. The first part is most people get inspired. And when you're inspired, it's not going to go on for long until you take on something called daily activity, which is devotion, to devote yourself towards achieving this particular goal of spiritual emancipation. This must be practiced every day. This is the second part, that every single day you must practice towards this particular goal, and you cannot be lazy about it because it's not for the weak. Everybody who practices every day, they get realization how to overcome one part of the mind, one part of the mind or one part of the ego that slows them down spiritually. Once all these minds are reduced or are removed from one side to another, then you start to have a clear vision of actually what is really going on in this universe, not only this world but in the universe. You start to have a clear vision. You see things for what they are. When you start to see things for what they are, now at this particular point in time, you start to get deeper into meditation. I always hear people say they do yoga and they're meditating. It's always a funny thing to me because I know for a fact that's not true. Meditation is something else. When I hear that people are meditating, I'm like, all right, maybe you're meditating, but you may not be absorbed, because absorption is something else. When you reach a clearing stage, on a clearing stage, when you see things, it's easier to meditate because the mind is slowed down. In the process of yoga, there is something called pranayama. Pranayama means the life forces, to control the life forces, which happens in a lot of spiritual teachings, including here in Africa, or what we call Uptwasa. When the life forces are balanced, then you don't have disturbing minds when you meditate. Disturbing minds means you could be meditating now, because meditation brings about energy. It can help you to focus on your business. It can help you start to see things clearer, what's going on in a relationship with somebody. But that is disturbing because that's not the goal. To see things clearer, you could actually even plan your business. Or tomorrow I'm going to do this and that. But as soon as you cut off the meditation, you start to get involved in what you said you're going to do. It becomes even more difficult because the inspiration is not the same. The mind keeps on jumping from one thought to another. So therefore it disturbs the meditation. So, because meditation is so difficult, then then one must do this every single day, nitya. But you mustn't do this just to do this. There's also the word sevaya. Sevaya means to serve. You must find somebody who is capable of teaching and assisting one in the spiritual path, and you must at least live with them, near them, to see how they do every single day to overcome the difficulties that are within the ego. Ahangaras, vimudhatma, kardaham, itimannate. Ahangara means ego or pride, false ego in particular. One must find somebody who's able to deal with this false ego. False ego will disturb you every single day. So when you meet somebody, this particular person must not have too much false ego, but they should be able to assist you to be able to wake up early in the morning, and waking up early in the morning and give you proper meditation every single day. But you must live with them for at least a month and visit them every now and then to see the activities they do every single day. Don't just do some horse. Visit them every single day, because there is nothing like samsayaha, doubt. You don't want to be in a situation where you doubt the existence of the afterlife, if there is or there isn't. You mustn't make a conclusion superficially that there isn't. You must go through penances. You must go through pain. You must go through austerities. You must sit down, and the mind must tell you, you mustn't sit down. Go and enjoy this man. Go and enjoy this woman. Go and enjoy this car. Go and enjoy this work. You must sit down and have the mind torture you like this, so that you must have the determination to say, mind, I am not leaving this place until I'm clear if there is something that goes on after this life. This is what you're looking for in this life. Then sarvasya hamridi sani visto matasmriti jnana pohanamcha. In the heart, which is the fourth thing now, in the heart, there must be a being beside yourself who is sitting there, who continuously gives you information how to do things. For example, when you were a baby, you did not know how to speak. A lot of people spoke outside. They were saying, ma, pa, papa, mama, mother. They kept on saying these things, but you did not know how to say it. But there's a voice inside that inspires you. If you project like this, you will be able to say what they are saying. And inside this body, there is a mechanism that triggers you to be able to speak, because he can allow this particular mechanism to take place. So within the heart, there is an inspirer. This inspirer can give you three qualities. 1, forgetfulness. 2, knowledge. And 3, memory. We have more ability to forget because we don't practice memory. So what this being inside gives us states to forget, because you need to be in a state of forgetfulness or ignorance in order for you to try to think that you are enjoying in this world. But you require knowledge for this thing. You require knowledge to live in this world. So the second thing that you will get is knowledge. Knowledge on how to see, how to speak, how to smell, how to hear, how to touch. Nowadays, they even try to put knowledge on how to have sex. Imagine, animals don't have manuals on how to have sex, but human beings, they always have manuals on how to have sex. Anyway, so you get the knowledge of the physical body, and then for some reason, when you're young, they don't give you the knowledge of the mental body, because most teachers don't have that, unfortunately. Most teachers don't have the sense of this mental body. And then with this knowledge, you are to ask, who is this person inside that is inspiring me? This particular being that's able to inspire me from the heart, who is it? Then you start to speak from different levels or from different schools. From some schools, they will tell you Amadlos. From some school, they will say Kismoya. Some schools, they will tell you these are angels. Some will say this is God. And some will say it's yourself. And some will say it's your second mind. But you don't want to be in a state of doubt. Because why? You have limited life. This life is gonna finish very soon. Just like my only fear of death is reincarnation. Pastor Emma ever said it's like a man with patience. For some people, they fear death because they know they're going to reincarnate. For some people may not even believe in reincarnation, which is okay. Why? Because belief is not sentimental to spiritualists. Spiritualists do not like to stay in a state of belief. They would like to be in a state of knowledge. So you reach a stage where you try to find out what's going on inside because you clearly know that you have something that keeps on informing you what's going on, but then you have not been able to pay attention, or you've not been able to find out how to reach that particular being and speak to that particular being. That is the process by which one goes through when they are very serious about spiritual life and ask questions related to how did I come here? Why am I here? What is the very next thing that happens after this life? So, that's my small prayer right there. It's a prayer to the living entity to say, Mr. Living Entity, you have a limited life. And in this limited life, there is a couple of things that one needs to pay attention to. This physical body is dwindling right now. It's here, but it will die. You will let go of this body.